Okay, now we're back again. It's been a week. Last video we left off, I had forgotten something, which I tend to do, and it was this spacer ring that goes between the movement base and the dial. And when I pulled the dial off, I noticed the Inca block spring here didn't look quite right. Looked like it was in funny, so I gave it a little tweak with the tweezers, and the one leg popped off and broke. So we had a faulty spring. I don't know if I broke it. Probably. Let's be honest, I'm not a pro. So I broke a spring. I ordered 5 of them from Otto out in California. They came in yesterday, and I have that spring and jewel back in place. And before we put our dial on, yes, we're going to put this ring on. That was the one part that I forgot. Let's zoom out here a little bit. The one part that I forgot, it's that little spacer ring. I think it's not direction. Well, it's directional in that it can go. You can put it. It doesn't go like that. You can see where that lip goes. It doesn't go like that. You just turn it around and just lay it on there. And here's your cutouts for your dial feet. There's one here and then one 180 degrees across from it. So that's the part that I forgot. It maintains clearance between the dial and all the components, such as the date ring right here. I'm just picking up a little bit of dust here and there. So that's the part that I forgot. We're back to normal here, if you can think of normal in this situation. Nothing's normal as far as I'm concerned. So we have our ring, and our dial is going to lay right in there like so. And I'm going to take it out of the movement holder. I'm going to turn it over, and this is where we have these little feet clamps, I guess you would call it. My computer's not keeping up. Come on. Feet clamps, I guess you would call it. I don't know what this stuff's called. I got a little pressure on it, and just a small bladed screwdriver. Just push that in. Hopefully I'm in the shot. It's got a little notch on there where the blade can go in, and it just locks it in. It's like a knife edge on that. There's a good shot. There it is. Press it in and it's good to go. And the other part we left off, I had a pretty good indication on midnight on this. I had the hand set, and it would click over the date exactly at midnight, and I was impressed that I got it that good. But then I had to take it apart again. So here we are. We're back to that, and we have it in the date setting position right here, and I have it pretty close. I'm going to set the time. Unless I'm turning it the wrong way. Okay, here we go. You can see the 3 moving. Okay. My computer is not keeping up because it's an old piece of crap, so we're going to try this again. So I back it up, I come around, Alright, I missed the mark. So I'm just wheeling through here, going around 24 hours. And my computer is slowing down again. Come on. Yep. Yep. Without any hands on anything, I'm not sure what time I'm at. Okay, there's the click. I'm going to come back around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to about 8 o'clock. Because I want to get this as close as possible. Okay, there you think you can see the 5 moving. And I'm just slowly turning the stem. I'm just barely nudging it. And you can see it ready to click. And when it clicks, that's where I put the hour hand on. Let's go with it. So, hopefully it'll be close. Or close enough for me. Here's the hour hand. And I'm gonna just lay it on there. I'm gonna nudge it a little bit here and there. It's not really seated. And I'm gonna eyeball it. Get that as close to 12 as possible. I think it might need to go just a bit more. Eye it up from 6 to the center to the 12 o'clock position. You can make yourself nuts making this precise, but eventually you'll get the hang of it and you'll get a feel for it. I'm liking that. So here we come to our setter. Let's do this first. Let's put it back in the movement holder, shall we? Nobody said it was smart, did they? I certainly didn't. I certainly didn't. Come on. There we go. It's been one of those days, one of those weeks. Okay, here we are. Now we're in the movement holder. So we're at midnight. Let's start again. Come on, computer. And I lightly put that on. And then we come back around to about the 8 o'clock position. And we're going to test when this clicks at midnight. So let's see how close we come. We'll take the hour hand out of the picture. We're going to check it. When it clicks, we'll check where the hour hand is. Look at that. That's pretty slick. There's midnight. That's pretty darn close. I'm leaving it. I am going to seat that hand all the way. Alright, computer, slowing down again. Everything looks red here because the light is reflecting off my hand setter, which is anodized red. There we go. Midnight. Midnight's looking pretty good. We're going to take a look at this view. See that the hand is parallel. Not too close to anything, like the indices there. It's a little close. I can tweak that a little bit. Okay, it's missing that. I like to set mine to 6 o'clock because I can use the 6 o'clock, the center post, and the midnight position to line everything up. There's about 6 o'clock, or 1800 as I like to call it, if it's later in the day. And then our minute hand. Let's get in the shot. The minute hand we're going to put at midnight, at 12 o'clock. Ah, come on. Come on, dummy. So, how do we look? Lined up? My computer is painfully slow. I think that's pretty close. I'm just going to nudge that on. Not real tight, so I can easily get it off. So there's, let's see, let's go to 9 o'clock. How does that look at 9 o'clock? That's always a good indicator, 9 and 3, that it looks, yeah, it might be off a bit. The big test would be midnight, that they're lined up. Hands are directly over top of each other. They're both pointing at 12. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Let's tighten that up a little more. There we go. Coming up to noon, they line up pretty nice. So there's 12 o'clock. Let's come around to 3 o'clock. Three o'clock's looking pretty nice. That's looking good. Now, how close to midnight are we? Let's get a feel. Let's get an idea on how that is. There's 2300. Okay. Let's see. 2300, 2330, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Look at that. It's within 2 minutes. Not as good as last time, but 2 minutes is good enough for me. I can keep tinkering with this all day and still not get it. Sometimes you get lucky. So this thing is clicking over 2-3 minutes to midnight. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go with it. The last thing I'm going to check here is how parallel the hands are. They are looking good. Nothing is binding, nothing's in the way, nothing looks funky. The dial looks clean, no dust. Now we can do our second hand, and then we'll end this video, and we'll do casing and regulation next. And the last thing I like to do is the auto winder. Okay. Obviously we don't have to worry about lining anything up on that. Second hand is done, and we can put this back, push this back in. There it is, clicking away. So look for the next video on casing and regulation, and then we'll do the auto winder, how to lubricate that, install it. I like to get everything regulated, get everything nice and slick, and then we'll get an idea on how well it's performing. So stay tuned.